Standards-based grading with a focus on Fix 7, the gradebook organization. We're going to explain how we've entered the standards to help you identify which ones have been prioritized that will be showing up on the report card when you're entering your assignments aligned to standards. Let's open up the gradebook. First thing, of course, you always want to check to make sure you're in your current year. You also want to make sure you're in your correct reporting term. We'll talk about baseline later. That's what B1 stands for. I'm going to pick a class. I'm going to go into reading. I'm going to go into the assignments tab. When we click to add an assignment, just a tip, when I put it in there, I would put my assessments by week 1 checkpoint, week 2, whatever you want, and then you line your standards, and down here you just put your brief description of what the students were learning or practicing. And you can put multiple things in there. That's kind of prescriptive. Of course, this should not be figured in there. I'm not going to add this assignment. I'm going to go to the standards zone and explain them to you. Remember, if this is narrow here, you just go up here and click on that little line and you can stretch it a little wider. It has to be in the top column. You notice the ones that do not have an asterisk will be the ones that will show up on the report cards, and then we're going to be assessing. If you scroll down, you can see which two are, which of reading information, which two we're going to measure, and which ones are going to be there available for you to assess for your own practice. Reading information, again, you can see which ones that do not have an asterisk, and of course those would be the ones that we're measuring. You'll notice when we switch this back, there's a different view. Besides the assignment view, we have the final grade view. This is where your grades will calculate out for your standards, aligned again by that standard and not by a single score. But all those assignments are shuffled, the scores are assigned to a specific standard, will line up and be calculated into those fields. You'll notice that we have a light blue and green shades. I'm going to go across, and each time we go to a different domain, this is now reading information, it turns to a different color. Next color is green, reading information. Let's just spend time here on reading information. We got green, lighter green, and even the lightest green. If you notice that this reading information is the overall domain, so it has a line going all the way across the top. Underneath there we have two standards, this one here and this one. You see how there? And under this particular standard, let me try to get that activated again. Applying grade level phonics, we actually have 4 substandards: knowing, meaning complex, decoding words, decoding multi-syllables, and that. You can notice that this one here has an asterisk. That one will not be on the report card. These 3 will show up on the report card. So therefore, when you do enter your assignments, like if I'd go to language, I was going to click to an assignment, add it, and put my week 2 checkpoints that we agreed on assessing in our PLCs, pick your topics, put a brief description here. You can put links if you'd like. And we go to our standards and say we're going to be writing an opinion paper. So we're going to measure those things on this opinion paper. We're going to write that week and look and grade collaboratively. And we were actually going to do some, well, in fact, let's say you're going to use some verb tense. Even though you weren't going to show on the report card, you're going to look at subject verb on, simple verb tense, make sure they all agreed. And you also wanted to make sure, I'm going to pick one that we are going to use, L2, yeah, demonstrate capitalization and punctuations. When I save that, I can now assess that paper on those various standards, and those scores will drop into the final grade, so we can start analyzing and collecting data over a period of time. So again, that's just some quick explanations of how PowerTeacher Gradebook is set up to be a standards-based reporting tool.